bro. Stop. Keep driving, bro.
Almost replays, almost daily.
I need that shot. Get off the exit. Chuck, you straight? Somebody grab that wheel. Chuck, you straight? Go.
Dirty Red says they were on the entrance ramp to the highway. Chucky saw through his rearview mirror that he was being followed. He told them to get down. A car pulled up and let the oo-wop loose. Chucky said he was hit.
What you got? I'm in front of the exit of Jimmy Carter. Please, man. Save my dog, man. Go ahead. Save my dog.
Detectives arrived to the scene. The victim was already transported to the hospital where he was pronounced DOA. He's identified as 33-year-old Corey DeTeege, a.k.a. Chucky Trill, a Houston-based rapper, survived by his wife. As they examine the scene, they see the car was hit with the oo-wop 8 times. Chucky was hit in the abdomen and thigh. No shell casings were found, and really no evidence. So detectives take everyone in the vehicle to the station for questioning. They start with LaSalle first. He was a backseat passenger. He states Chucky is on his label. Him, Chucky, and 20 Glock had flew in that night. It was NBA All-Star Weekend. The goal was to promote Chucky's album. He said the first club they stopped by, they met a guy named Dirty Red. He knows Chucky very well, so Dirty Red rides with them after they left the first club and went to Club Miami. Then they left that club around 2:30 a.m. Chucky was driving. As they coming down a ramp, Chucky starts speeding. Then he heard the oo-wop go off. Chucky was hit, and 20 Glock grabbed the wheel and stopped the vehicle. So they end that interview and go interview 20 Glock. He said everything seemed like a setup to him. He had bad feelings about Dirty Red because he asked who was sitting in the front seat. And as they leave the second club, Dirty Red sat in the back away from Chucky. And when the oo-wop let loose, everything was aimed at the front of the vehicle. So now they speak to Dirty Red. He said he was hosting an event, and Chucky asked him to ride with them to another club. When they left the club, the vehicle was hit with the oo-wop.
So who set up this guy?
I don't know.
Okay, let's go to that part. What did you see?
They hit, got the off the highway.
So they end the interview, realizing Dirty Red was cool and calm and wasn't hiding anything. So they let LaSalle, 20 Glock, and Dirty Red go, obtain video footage from Club Miami.
Victim vehicle leaves.
Within a few seconds, that silver vehicle follows Chucky's SUV.
After watching the video, a tipster come to the station and tell detectives that Chucky was the middleman moving their work, between a guy from Detroit. Last year, the guy came to Houston, but it was dry, so Chucky got in touch with another contact. So the guy they called Detroit agreed to meet up with the new contact. It was 2 guys. Chucky hops in the back seat. Detroit was moving too fast and threw the money in the front seat. It's 80 grand. At that point, Chucky said the guys drove off with him in the back seat, stopped, hit him with the oo-wop, and made him get out. Chucky goes back to where Detroit was at and said he was robbed, but still had his chain on. Detroit wasn't buying that. 2 weeks later, Chucky get a call from a guy saying that he was offered $10K to get at Chucky. Chucky had paid Detroit more than half the 80 grand back. He still owed $35,000. Detectives asked what's Detroit's real name. They called him Legs because he's a double amputee. He lost his legs in a train accident. So he ended that interview with the tipster. But before they could look up Legs, results from the license plate reader come in. The BMW hit by the first club Chucky went to and Club Miami. So they run the vehicle registration. It comes back to James Thomas. And the restriction on his license says prosthetic aids required. That's their guy, 34-year-old James Thomas. Served 2 years for accessory after the fact and felony possession of the oo-wop. His IG page says he's a musician who goes by Legs Diamond and is expecting a son. They eventually get phone records for Legs. The location show Legs on the highway where Chucky was hit with the oo-wop. Now they charge James Thomas with the homicide of Corey DeTeege. James Thomas lawyered up, and now the trial of James Thomas began. August 23rd, Cherish DeTeege, Chucky Trill wife, take the stand first.
But James Thomas's digital fingerprints are all over this case. At the end of this, you're going to be convinced that James Thomas was a party to this crime.
So let's talk about what the evidence is. There won't be any fingerprints, there won't be any DNA, none of that will be involved.
Cherish states that Chucky told her that the guys took a bag containing 2 bricks, and he was worried about what Legs was feeling and had to get him his money back. Now on cross, defense attorney Nicole Fagan asked Cherish, since Chucky was in the car being whipped with the oo-wop, did he have a busted lip or any bruises, or was there any indication of a robbery? Cherish said no. So Nicole Fagan finished by saying to Cherish, since you wasn't there, you really don't know what happened to Chucky. Cherish says that's correct. So Cherish steps down from the stand. They end questioning with her. The assistant DA, Shabazz, concerned that Nicole Fagan had created doubt about Cherish being a credible witness. Next, they called 20 Glock to the stand. He was at the deal with Chucky, according to Cherish. They asked 20 Glock, do he see anyone in the courtroom from that day? He looks towards Legs and says he just remembered the name Tron. Then he says he doesn't know who Legs is, and he has no knowledge of the deal going down. So they end questioning with 20 Glock, since he developed amnesia. But they understood because if Legs get acquitted, he might get at 20. So the next day of the trial, the prosecutor had tightness in his chest and was taken to the hospital. With that turn of events, the judge granted a motion for a mistrial. The state was worried about another trial, so they offered James Thomas a plea deal.
A mistrial can be a good thing or it can be a bad thing.
But I did not have high hopes for the second time. The second time was going to be a battle.
Voluntary manslaughter with a 15-year sentence. James Thomas turned it down. Now they prepare for the retrial. An entirely new team would take over the case. 8 months later, the retrial starts. This time the plan is to present evidence to put Legs on the scene. So they present information from Legs' phone, which is in their possession. So they point out a text Legs sent saying, when I get Trill gone, I'm gone.
And could you read that into the record?
When I get Trill gone, I'm gone.
After that, the defense rested and the jury deliberated for 8 hours, found James Thomas guilty on 1 count of malice murder and aggravated assault. He was sentenced to life plus 105 years after turning down a plea deal for 15 years. Thank you for watching. Leave me some comments. Hit that like button. Hit that thanks button. Stay safe out there. I'm done talking.
So with it, this your boy Chucky Trill, and right now y'all about to check out my new single.
Keep his memory alive.